All right, with that, we'll go ahead and start. Now let me organize my goddamn tabs again. There's so much shit. For the welcome to the recording, and enjoy that little bit of me swearing in the very beginning. We don't get monetized anyways. Yeah, welcome to the one shot slash the DM event slash the first one of the first world leader gatherings for the World of Silencia First Age campaigns. Um, I don't remember what date Port Haven finished on. Someone look to the leader who rules the country and expect him to have it in his notes because I run a book of like 1.7 million word count, and he has to look at 3 sections. So Normac, do you remember the date or year or any sort of information on when Port Haven had been completed? And while you
I
look that
do
up,
actually.
oh, you do? Oh, fantastic! Actually, go ahead then.
I'm pulling it up now because here's where the festival would have been, which would have been about February. God damn it!
No, you said
Yeah,
I thought I knew.
I was gonna
Continue for a second while
transition. Yeah. While you look that up. Yes, so while the party here today is mostly world leaders and representatives of world leaders, we've got 3 of the members active on voice, 2 members active in fucking chat. As we play along. However, unfortunately, one of the members will be a little bit late. If they show up all, depending on how long session goes today. So, yes, with the opening and the grand festivities of the Festival of Port Haven, a city's grand founding in the Normax Trade, or was it Tradesmith Alliance? I think that's correct. You can see how much time I've had to look this up. Won't lie, right before session, I was trying to get all this stuff finalized, and then I had to run to go and deal with script work, so I do apologize for my inconsistency here. Fuck, what was I even looking up? Oh yeah, my maps. You can tell the disorganization here today. Nations, please be the right one. Oh, for fuck's sake. And otherwise, I'm gonna be very sad. Yes. All right. Yeah. Trade alliances of Smith. My apologies there. Yes. So with the party having, or with the representatives having arrived at the city of Port Haven over the last few days, we kind of come along to the only ones who accepted the invitation. And Normac, did you have that date?
Yes, we are in the end of November, early December of I don't know the year, but it would have been the last year.
65,007.
Yep.
The one that the Friday campaign's currently towards the end of. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Excuse me. There we go. All right.
As this was the set time for to allow the city to get to capacity before
Yeah.
throwing a celebration.
So, before we get into who's joining us today, I'll note as those that each individual arrives, mostly on the same day, the festival of Port Haven, beginning with a light snow, kind of coming down, the lanterns lit, a young city that truly smells of brine, hot air, and fresh cut timber, as well as ambition. As each of you arrive one at a time at the salt docks, as they're called, a more common and vastly expanded docks for the ships coming by water. For those coming by air, being in this case Shift, who we'll get to in a minute, of course, introducing everyone, coming into the Skyward Piers. A currently very under construction set of airship piers set for, or set to be designed and finished within the year. The party, though, the party arrives as the city itself, still a skyline of uneven cranes and scaffolding, proud towers polished for the festival still half being built, seeing bright banners snapping between unfinished buildings. even at night, this place seems to be a continual flame as lanterns kind of hang along the dock pylons, reflecting the gold and blue across the water that is famous for the Aussie clan. The city is alight with festivity, excitement, merchants shouting, smith shops kind of glamorized, merchants standing in the streets selling wares. It is a city of almost complete equality as you see a multitude of different races coming and going, merchants, pirates, fencers, all sorts and types. As each of you arrives, noting the clear ship of the Open Arms, a well-known mercenary group led by the infamous Vox of the Open Arms or Open Palms, a famous monk from Mercenary Hollow's ship has been docked, as well as a secondary ship, the clear and beautifully designed war galleon known as the Bright Queen, the infamous main ship of the Bright Bee organization. But as each of you one by one arrive, we'll go by order of arrival based on closeness, which unfortunately starts with three of the characters I get to introduce. Starting first, of course, with Merchant King Greg's Martom, who would have probably arrived about a week early, spending his time in the inn. Merchant King for Greg's Martom, for those who don't know, is an obsidian dragon, one of the world leaders of the infamous Diamond's Death city, and currently the only world leader that's been grounded by multiple world leaders for too many signs of aggression. He is currently the top ranked merchant in the world and stands as. Let me find my build for Greg here. 5 Sorcerer, 5 World Speaker, 6 Worm Wizard, and 10 Harbinger as of last update. Although I have a couple levels to add to him still in the background. As he arrives, like I said, kind of keeping on his appearance of the beautiful elven Amazonian woman with black obsidian skin and diamond colored eyes, her hair almost glimmering snow white as she follows with an entourage of a mix of elves and koboldkin who serve her, and of course her 3 swords always by her side. Secondly, would be Lady Saphira, King Movasi's sister, and the technical goddess, a demigod truly, of the dragons. She, of course, is well known by almost every player here. She is a sapphire dragon who is somewhat divine. She has 18 levels confirmed in cleric, and the rest of her build is unknown. And she is mostly followed by koboldkin and those of the draconic species, who see her as an almost queen of dragons or the blessed worm or protector of dragons. She arrives, of course, bearing Movasi's banner and with a small entourage of ancient and worm dragon clan leaders who keep themselves disguised in their draconic dragonkin forms. However, Lady Saphira, while staying in her dragonkin form, it still seems quite noticeable due to her brilliantly blue sapphire scales that seem to glimmer no matter whether the sun is out or not. And after that, since she has already been confirmed that she'll be late and will be showing up at the end, near the middle of the festivities, we move on to our next guest who would arrive, which would be Shift. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Shift, as they disembark, is a 7'6" axial kobold, meaning they look like they're made of bronze plates, a few what look like they'd be like thin bronze wires where hair should be. Wearing kind of like researcher wizard robes and a large wizard hat, along with behind them, because this was requested by Normac, a large stone golem, who, as I went and checked, most of the world doesn't know what his name is.
Nope.
Along with a small entourage of frost giants and 2 blackguards as bodyguards.
Perfect. All right, and then lastly, of those who are currently able to show up at the as the festivities begin, Luca, would you like to introduce yourself?
All right, Luca would disembark out of the same ship as Shift, as I believe that was something we discussed a while back about a pickup.
You said you needed a
Um,
ride.
I did indeed need a ride. Thank you very much, my dear friend.
Oh,
But
didn't know
Luca
that.
stands, yeah, sorry. But Luca stands at approximately 6 feet in height, but standing is a weird way to put it considering she's a plant, and as such doesn't really have legs. So she is currently being held as if or by a Trent or a Treant bodyguard, almost as if like you're holding a prized possession. So its hands are cupped holding her. Uh, Appearance wise, she has a whitish face that has like a slight greenish hue with green eyes and dark green hair. Red petals growing out of her neck or around her neck, almost trying to serve like a lion's mane almost, and her body is covered in leaves as well as bark, with palm tree leaves coming out from her waist to serve as a long dress. She does slightly wave to people as she walks by.
Perfect. I will note, and as I was just confirmed this as someone who PM'd me this, this I didn't make a correction. It would be the year or the no. It would be the month of November, the day of the 31st, and the year of 65,008. So we're about 1 year back from current campaign. I apologize. I did not do, or someone just sent me the exact date for it, so they found it. So as although each of you arrive, Luca, having been picked up by Shift, being able to be brought off on this beautifully impressive airship, well, I imagine, Normac, upon seeing this, you've seen many airships, many more of the common pirate and Vikinger airships, some of the trade vessels from amongst the Cloud Jotun. This one looks to be more of a grander vessel, not unfortunately unlike Blackbone Augs, however, in this case bearing the beautiful glimmering designs and colorations of Utham's own sigil. So while at first look it does appear to be a terrifying raiding ship, thankfully.
There was a moment of concern,
Yeah.
definitely.
Thankfully, after a moment realization, it was very much confirmed these were thankfully the representative you were looking for.
The quick count of how many wands we have that can fire at once was done.
Yeah. The last thing I will note is you were sent a letter by Lady Flare, informing you that she would make haste to return before her expedition would leave, as she'd be leaving the night after this festival. Due to the unfortunate scheduling, she will be late, as she mentions. However, you can count on her bodyguards being within the city if you need them.
That's at least helpful. That's probably why crime shot down pretty quick.
But as finally the day comes, as the 31st fully arrives and everyone fully appears, Shift and Luca being the last two to arrive the day before, Normac calling the group or the gathering of representatives to the little fortress itself within the college campus yet to be named, that has kind of grown to be somewhat of a fort, somewhat of a chapel of sorts, as it kind of makes do as both, given this is not an official military seat, but acts more as like a last point of a stronghold in case of emergencies. The college itself still yet designed with this beautiful intent of both learning and defense. But as you call the representatives there, Lady Saphira, Shift, I almost called you Shaft for some reason, Luca, and Greg's Martom all seem to find themselves there come around mid morning, as they gather around a long table that's going to kind of set out, pews pushed aside, long candelabras set along the long table as servants come rush in to serve food, and the few windows that could be opened or loud light through seem to have been kind of set, allowing the dust and such to clean out of this area. But As each of you find yourselves walking through the college itself, seeing yet that the name is still kind of up for decision, and that much of the beautiful white marble pillars, bronze ribbing, and glass domed workshop roofs are still very much incomplete, many of them being carved or placed in. The floors, while beautifully designed, are still covered in bits of dirt as workers and masters of their crafts kind of work around the clock. Some classrooms already currently under full running as you pass by a few forges here and there that have classes going on, but otherwise the campus still seems to be much under construction as you're slowly guided back into the center where you find yourselves sat at this beautiful long table. Normac, would you like to address your
Normac-
guests?
Yeah, Normac would step out. He's not his full dragon size, obviously. He would be about a 6.5 foot tall looking kobold kin in this case for the world setting. With emerald green eyes, gold scales, and he's wearing what looks to be a very nice set of artificer's clothing. It has leather paddings and gloves hanging off his side. As he smiles at everyone, welcome and greetings. I'm so glad you all were able to make it. I know some of you arrived early, and I thank you for your timeliness. To everyone who arrived.
Greg kind of gives you a slight glare as you watch Lady Saphira giving a bit of a pleasant smile.
As Normac will just give a kind smile to each person, and I also thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come. I wanted to show that my land is not one for strife. So I hope you will enjoy the festivities, and we'll all go around and view the city as it's still being built. The weather has slowed us a bit. I had hoped it'd be finished by now, but ah well. We make do.
As you say this, Lady Saphira kind of gives a pleasant nod. Greg's Maratom kind of just eyes you. And there's a slight whisper under his breath that's just too quiet to catch immediately, as he kind of like stares at you, but otherwise keeps his mouth shut.
Oh. And if you have any complaints, you are welcome to bring them up. I'm always one for criticisms. It helps me build things better.
I see Luca is typing. I'm gonna give her a sec.
Oh no, this is something else. Something else.
Oh, okay.
I think Shift kind of cocks an eyebrow, doesn't say anything, but just a slight side look at Greg because she's never heard Greg not airing out every possible complaint he's ever had.
Yeah, give me a
What do you
sense
think-
motive shift real quick.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why do you think Normax made a point of saying, air it out? If you hold it in, it's gonna kill me, basically.
That's for that.
I mean-
I'm gonna go get set up at my little shop in the other room. Yeah, all these merchants around here, all these fancy folks. I'm gonna go find a corner and I'll do some tattooing.
Could be better. Oh, it's 30.
30.
Oh, should've been.
Well, Greg doesn't really give much away in his manner of speaking or how he's acting. What does catch your attention, and well, you know, Shift is well, Greg isn't related to the Aussie clan in the slightest. Lady Saphira is very well respected and not very unknown to smack people that offend her, as she has been kind of raised to in a more delicate and kind manner of speaking. So kind of an act or a way or treating yourself as a noble around her is kind of expected. So as you kind of watch, it's a careful assumption that Greg's probably holding back as he doesn't want to offend Lady Saphira. Noting also, Novak is Lady Saphira's nephew. So
Yeah.
Anything kind of aired against him is going to have to be taken with a caution for diplomatic reasons if you don't want to, spoil potentially her mood in this situation.
Trust me, Shift feels that. That's why I'm not complaining about the not finished town. Not finished town.
Right?
It was supposed to be finished before the party started. That was one of the big things.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
There's a lot that had to be built. But as Normac kind of stands welcoming you all, as you kind of look around, you do hear a bit of a kerfuffle as a few merchants are seemingly cornering one of the representatives near the doorway, doing some shouting, but otherwise kind of what sounds like some decent diplomacy is being put upon by the representative of Normac. Unfortunately, as it seems, the city is somewhat more rowdy than what you'd expect. As Greg kind of turns watching this and then kind of looks back at Normac almost with a raised eyebrow of expectation.
Do I see who's dealing with what? Who's dealing with the merchants?
Yeah, as you look, you do recognize. Let me pull up his name real quick. Borin Helvik. The small storm beard. Small is in size, not as in width. As for short as he is to you, he makes up for that in decent width. To his very massive arms and barrel chest, and for a few Snowbeards, he's quite thick-thighed. For as muscled as he is. He seems to be being cornered by what you recognize as three merchants with the bright beast symbolism, something that's been kind of being a bother the last couple of days as they've been cornering many of your representatives.
I'd like to give a quick listen to see if I can catch what they're trying to say.
Sure.
As the party would notice that on to Normac's side, he also taps a wand as he does this.
Yeah. Let's see what you got. And you can roll in the DM game channel. Yeah, maybe if you can't go in bot chat.
Nope.
Yep.
Does not work there.
Cool. Bot chat it is. Answers that.
That's what it's for.
That's true.
33.
33. They're not being quiet. So thankfully, and even from about 50 feet back, where this like little open garden area that kind of surrounds the central stronghold kind of ends. What you hear is something along the lines, "We shouldn't have to craft if we have money. Money is what makes this entire city run. We donated, we helped build the fortress, we paid for the ports, we expect compensation in the right to own land." And you hear the other two kind of shouting in agreement.
Okay. Normac's going to smile. I will handle this real quick, if you'll pardon me. As he walks out there and looks at the merchants.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, I do believe I made our policies clear the last time that you ended up speaking with me. If you're going to continue this behavior, I will see you out of the city within the day. We have guests and you are making a scene. Leave.
Give me a diplomacy check, Normac.
I was hoping for intimidation. You know what? That's probably
You're not
better
a
for
very
diplomacy.
You're not a very scary looking guy, I'm sorry.
As Normac will touch a different wand.
Normac's just got a bunch of sticks on the side of his belt or his hip that he's just tapping like a fucking piano keys.
Mid sentence.
Yes!
Dude.
Yeah. You just hear light music every time it's like Willy Wonka moving about, basically.
I have to spend some time recharging all my wands again, but you know what? This is fucking worth it. This is how I keep my people safe, damn it.
Greg, Lady Saphira, Shift, and Luca all judging.
Just a little.
That'd be a 38 diplomacy.
38. As you kind of say this, the merchants kind of nod, and cowering a bit down, as the one who kind of did most of the shouting kind of looks at you and goes, "Fine, but Brightbee's gonna want to know your answer. He submitted the paperwork." The guy huffs and turns and starts to walk away. Slowly at first, and then kind of speeds up quite quickly as his friends almost like have to chase after him as the three of them run off.
Normac will look to his temporary guard captain of Morin and go, "Thank you for dealing with that as best you could."
Or nods at that. And Draconic goes, I would have killed him if you would have let me.
I need to look into that corporation before I let you go slaughtering them freely. Besides, we try to be welcoming.
He nods that and goes, well, I'll be back on my way. My shift's over in the next 10 minutes, and I've got to get back to the inn to get it up and running before the missus has a cow. I've already got one to feed.
Have a wonderful day.
He nods and
As
kind of heads
Normac will
off.
turn and head back to the world leaders, I again apologize for the interruption. You are...
As you say this, Lady Saphira smiles and goes, I am surprised that you're so capable compared to what you used to be. Nothing like the shadow you were when you were back at court.
It's quite different when you have people relying on you versus just being there.
She nods and goes, the frontier seems to have done good for you.
I believe it has as well.
And my dear brother, of course, looks forward to your welcome back into the Movasi Empire as you agreed upon.
I do believe that matter was still to be decided. I don't believe I've proven myself enough to be welcomed into such a strong empire.
She just gives a polite smile, Greg, raising one eyebrow, kind of as he watching the kind of toss between you two.
I'm playing 3D chess here, my god. Leave me be, Greg. I have to avoid this for as long as fucking possible. This is the first time even hearing of it, but if I act surprised, I'm gonna get shot.
As you kind of take a second and it kind of goes quiet, Lady Saphira kind of allowing the silence to pander on. Greg Smartom kind of speaks up and looks over at Shift and Luca and goes, and what of you two? You're Utham's representative and Kanebala's. What do you think of him becoming a member of the Movasi Empire?
Shift will kind of hum and think for a moment. What is that? I'll check what that is afterwards. There's flashing lights outside.
Cops?
Oh.
Ice?
No, it's just someone's car sitting in the middle of the circle.
Oh. Drunk driver?
I don't know. Potentially.
Panic.
Get in the car.
No. Shift will hum and we'll say no nonsense, straight to the point, as you'd expect from her race. I believe if his wishes are true, to be neutral. It would be best not to, with the going hostilities that have been happening on the main continent.
Greg Smartom kind of gives a light nod and looks over at kind of Luca.
Oh. Sorry. You may have to forgive. I am still relatively new to all of this, and as such, I am still in the process of learning about the politics outside of Olympia. But from what I can gander from the room, I just hope that no issues will come out of it that will involve others.
Greg gives a light chuckle at that. Young individuals, as he kind of sighs out loud. Goes, but go on, Normac. Give us the tour you promised. These young diplomats need something to entertain and understand.
I was just about to do that. Shall we start with a tour of the college itself or the city? Which would you prefer?
Kind of looks to you as Greg does and kind of keeps quiet as Lady
I'm
Saphira
not
also
looking at
doesn't
Greg
say
this
anything.
time as I look at Lady Saphira and then the other two for their vote. If no one says anything, we're starting with the college.
Yes, Shift.
Chip stares forlornly at the college. The only thing she's interested in here.
Understandably.
I would like to see this college you have.
Then we'll begin with the college as I initially planned. If you all will follow me, as Normac will start from what would be the headmaster's room and work his way out throughout the college.
Yeah.
Keeping key facilities hidden, but generally showing off what the plans are.
Oh, so you mean the giant suspended crucibles filling out the armors of mechs and such? You don't want them to see that?
I don't need them to see, the airship engine area where they are still exploding.
Oh, that's true.
Don't worry,
Because someone stole my fucking blueprints.
don't worry, I'll see it later when you're not looking.
There's a Gundam somewhere in there that he's working on as well. He doesn't want you to know about. No, yeah.
The little robot that has a nuclear implant ready to walk into Greg's market district again. The usual.
Yeah, Dragon's Bait. Yeah, as you begin walking this sprawling marble and bronze campus overlooking the beautiful water over the vast river that the city pretty much sits on top of, as you kind of begin to walk through, there are many beautiful bits of greenery, but as well as many classrooms and rooms kind of closed off, where you can see mostly half-finished scaffoldings kind of holding up walls, stone pillars that are still being engraved with what look to be runes. For as much as Normac's concerned about you seeing anything, there's not much to show for the classrooms and such, as those are the last sections being constructed, and much of them are to such a requirement that a lot of the pieces aren't there except for the basics of what the rooms look like. Thankfully, though, as you pass by seeing a few of the glass-domed workshops, and passing through the main forge hall, where it kind of opens up into this massive archway, something even a mountain giant could comfortably walk through. You can see about 15 colossal forges arranged in a circle, a kind of suspended crucible on what looks to be a long metal arm that can be kind of manually pushed back and pulled around, as well as stone floors that are kind of engraved with an array of transmutation runes. As you kind of pass through this, coming to what is now the dormitory section that looks over the river itself, and where the instructors currently stay, you find yourselves kind of walking through a very simple brick castle building made of this brownish gray material. The outside very almost sturdy. The building itself reinforced almost to be its own little fortress within the college. Kind of passing through what is a very large open common area where tables have been set, areas for food have been kind of laid out, shelves of books and other items and knickknacks kind of lay about. Kind of leading you through this into one of the rooms that seem to kind of fall off to the side of this, opens up into what looks to be a large office filled with a vast array of magical items, a few research benches, what looks to be a full glassworker's workshop, kind of slightly attached onto it, and a fully working chimney and fire stove, as well as behind a desk that is almost fitted for someone of a huge variety, is a rather medium-sized elven individual. She kind of stands there with her beautiful silver hair pulled up into a tight braid, thin spectacles kind of perched on low on her nose, and overall wears the dark kind of blue academic robes embroidered with the silver runes of the university or the college itself. Her hands already ink stained as she seems to be working on some sort of paperwork as she looks down at her desk, not even noticing as you walk in.
And this is our current headmistress of the college. While it is under construction. Pardon us, Miss Orwin.
As you hear the Professor Zorwin kind of moniker on the desk, she kind of looks up and smiles as she sees Normac kind of changing from a tired, exhausted look, where bags under her eyes, to a more calm and happy look. Okay, good to know. As she looks up and goes, "Yes, good. day, afternoon, as she looks to the window. Oh, morning. This must be you and your envoys. She looks at the party and kind of looks at the group overall, up and down, if eyeing them. As she sees Lady Saphira, she kind of suddenly starts wiping her hands on her robes really quickly and like trying to stand up a bit straighter. And she goes, "The lady, I do apologize. We've been working so feverishly on magical innovations that I didn't know that you were here." As Lady Saphira gives a polite smile, and kind of looks down at Normac and goes, Professor Zorwin used to work at the college in Dragon's Crown.
Ah, understandable why she came here then, and why she's been so well at handling such difficult paperwork.
As Professor Zorwin kind of blushes slightly at that, her kind of her skin kind of getting darker and more purpley as it kind of glimmers. And she kind of smiles and goes, "Thank you." She kind of looks about and goes, is Utham not among, or is Regan Utham not amongst them?"
This is their emissary. I do believe their name is Shift.
Indeed.
Cesaro kind of comes from around the desk and kind of walks over to shake your hand, Shift, and goes, "I'm a huge fan of Utham's work. I've read all of his medical books that he has published. I've got 3 of them on my shelf, first edition. I would love if you'd take them with you to get signed sometime."
After a moment, I'll go to Shaker, but I would like to roll because touch spells exist.
They do.
If I'm gonna get a spell cast on me.
Yeah, give me a spellcraft or a knowledge arcana.
Yeah. See, I have a 24 to spellcraft, and that's a 19. So it'd be a 30.
She does have a spell on her hand. However, it is, as you realize, not active for you. It is a prestidigitation spell, as you recognize. It's a small tattoo on her wrist that, as you watch, completely cleans away the ink off her hand as she reaches out to, like, shake your hand.
I'll shake your hands, and Shift will say, I would have to make sure the books were safe, but I believe I could do that for you.
Of course, of course. She hurriedly runs over to her bookshelves and kind of grabs 3 thick books off the shelf and kind of brings them over to you. We got 20 pounds apiece. These are not small by any means, with detailed designs of the biology of many creatures that have dissected and like the medical potential each of them have. As she kind of like slides them over or pushes them over to you, smiling with it as she does. She goes, "I would love it, and I'm visiting, I believe, the Frimperser's Last Hold's sister city, the Marshall City, within once in 3 years, I think, is what I was told. Coming to, of course, see it, as my brother was one of the supposed warriors looking to sign up as a supposed instructor there." And she gives a smile. "So I'll look forward to meeting with Utham then."
Can I, because she's someone important apparently, because I heard she used to be the leader of a tower. Can I roll for her family?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. Would that be knowledge nobility?
Yes, please.
Of course.
While they're having that discussion, Normac will look to the only 2 that haven't given an impression of the place yet, of Luca and Greg's Marathon. So far, what do you 2 think?
Go ahead, Luca.
Yeah, I've been holding back because I don't want to talk over anyone. I will say, this is a very. I'm trying to find the right words here. Interesting place. I don't have, or we don't have anything even close to something like this back at home. Would you mind telling me how everything works?
Well, that would depend on which parts you want. Building walls sturdier is a simple matter. It's people that make everything work as well.
people. Um, is it possible for anyone to learn this craft, or is it specifically only for um, certain individuals?
Anyone is welcome to come and learn. I built college in this city because, well, I wanted to make sure knowledge could spread to the world. This will probably be my most traveled city, given Aru is closer to the center of what I've claimed as my land. And I don't expect people to make the long trip there just to learn.
Well, I know of some individuals who would be interested in learning, but I would like to preference or ask before making any such moves. Are you okay with having people that are associated with Lady Kanabala coming over into your lands to learn? I imagine, from
The
what I've
rule of
heard,
be
does not have.
peaceful follows. So long as so long as these people do not try to kidnap others, break laws, or heavens forbid, eat someone and then try to hide it, those sorts of things, I have no qualm with that.
Well, I will see about getting a plan formulated for such tasks.
It'd be wonderful to see. Thank you, Miss Luca. As
Yeah.
Normek will turn to Greg's Maritom,
Shift, by
knowing
the
he.
way. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Shift, by the way. I sent you your roll results for you.
Yeah, I see.
So feel free to read that. As you turn to Greg, I just want to make sure in case I know sometimes the messages don't pop up in session. Um, yeah. So as you turn to Greg, he kind of gives a quiet stare at you and goes, "It's impressive. It's nothing more than a college that I've seen 1,000 times that I've built. Nothing more."
It's true. I'm proud of it because it's the first in
Yeah.
a land that's fairly harsh.
A land that's been given to you by someone stronger than you. I would too manage to vastly expand myself and grow to such lengths. But sadly, some of us have to claim our own lands and build our own armies.
Normek's gonna immediately realize Greg thinks he's already a pet, essentially.
I mean, Greg's definitely looking at you as more. I mean, it's not hard to tell. He's looking at you more like a pawn in this situation, either between him, Uthim, or Movasi. Whether it's hard to tell if he recognizes Luca and Kanabala as much of a threat, but I'll give you that without with a the concerned natural wariness that Normac has for dragon politics. Yeah, I'd say you could probably tell that at this point.
Hmm. Well, no, I had assistance from my friend in claiming it. We helped each other. I believe there's a difference in being used and working together. But a difference of opinions should not matter.
And that is why you would never do well at your cousin or your uncle's court. And as Greg kind of turns and starts kind of walking out of the room, back out of the building.
Once shift is done, I'll look to see and suggest we continue the tour outside because I do not feel like letting Greg wander my city
Supervised?
supervised.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a danger to my health and my city.
Shift. Anything you say as you kind of realize who this person is.
Yeah, we will be more than happy to host you and your brother in the new city. I would also love to meet your family's divination specialist to trade notes.
Professor Zorwin smiles at that and goes, "I would love to call up my cousin. She loves ducking magic. The only thing is she's been locked away in Dragon's Crown for, well, years now. But if I can get her away, I'll see if I can't bring her when I travel down. I believe we're going to be arriving in Velconin.
Willkommen, Miss Orwin.
She nods. Yes, that was it.
Yes, the city of scholars, as it is.
Yes, I've heard that there's rumors of of the young Lord Zilpip himself attending as a professor. I would be curious to catch one of his lectures.
I'm sure we can try to accommodate you.
She gives a smile at that. Kind of going back to her desk as Norma kind of begins to slowly guide the way back out of the building.
Keeping Greg within line of sight.
Oh, Greg didn't go far. He just stepped out and is kind of standing there, kind of looking around at the grounds. As you all kind of come back outside, still feeling the chill of the snow, the coolness of the air coming down, the sounds of construction still active as people kind of chatter throughout the city. It's lively as you find yourselves kind of walking back through the college campus. Where are you taking them to next, Normac?
Let's go through the city.
Okay.
Going based off the map, I probably have a park at least somewhere, so we'll work our way through first to the docks, though.
Oh yeah.
I imagine the park's been prepared for the rest of the festivities.
For reference, for the map as for the player's own visual aid. Fuck you! I'm not paying $100, Nitro. You can suck a dick.
Do I need to send it to the DM game channel?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Got it.
Because apparently it's telling me I can't copy the image and paste it into another chat.
All right. While he posts that, it's time for my political membership.
Yeah. As the party
now
starts
that we're-
walking through the town. Mm-hmm.
Now that we're in public, I pull out a bag of holding and hold it out to Normac and say, "The delivery you asked for."
Ah, thank you.
Greg Smart, Tom kind of
Of course.
gives an eyebrow raise at that.
Utham was more than happy to personally craft these ones.
I'm very lucky to receive them then.
It's kind of great, or as the party kind of stops for a moment, as Lady Saphira kind of walks over towards one of the stands, finding something interesting, and of course Normac, not wanting to be rude, kind of taking a moment as watching the merchants go about their business as she walks over with her bodyguards, and as you have look at this, Normac, would you like to describe what you're given, or are you not taking it out of the bag?
I'm making sure I remember what's in the bag.
Been there, bro. Been there.
Here, I'll PM you. It's very straightforward.
Yeah, I was saying, fully been there before, where you're like suddenly trying to pander for your notes, like where did I put that? Where did I put that info?
Because I've been trying to write down everything Normac's supposed to receive in this, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Normac will...
You were going to show these off for me and promote them.
Normac
That
will...
was your agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. Normac will pull one out.
Mhm.
Looking at the quality of its craft, as it is a staff crafted out of a beholder eye stalk.
Greg is very much interested. I'm gonna roll a praise check for that. 'Cause I want to know.
While you're doing that, Normac will be
Which,
seeing what spell is in it for himself.
I can tell you after your praise which kind they were made from. If you roll.
That's a 46, so.
These are the one you see. It seems to be a random eye stalk. You pulled a random one. There is a hive mother eye stalk.
These are from the Pale Eye one
Yeah.
shot, right? Okay.
Way back when I crafted like thousands of beholder eye stalks into staff.
Yeah, I remember. I just wanted to make sure it was that because they have different values depending on. Yeah, as
Normac smiles at it and goes, "These will be
They're the
excellent
highest
for what I'm using
CR.
for."
The highest CR ones below the pale eye itself.
Yeah. As Saphira kind of is looking at a few trinkets, her bodyguard's trying to get her to not buy the very clearly pieces of glass that have just been colored. As Greg and the rest of the party kind of congregates, I imagine, around Normac seeing this. Actually, Luca, I assume you do, or are you going to be looking at some of the stalls?
Yes, I am looking at everything are around me.
Okay. I will note as you kind of walking down this, as you kind of step away with, well, as your bodyguard steps away. In fairness, not far, just kind of walking over to a couple of the stands, having seen what the staff that was pulled out, and then kind of wanting to see everything else. Most of the merchants here seem to be a mix of closen or proto-fiends and snow or storm beards, meaning they have, of course, have black-haired beards and black hair. Kind of selling what looks to be kind of dud goods. It doesn't take a really high spellcraft or knowledge arcana to recognize poorly made items. Not that Normac is taking you down this clearly, as you can tell, to show these items. It's more as you see the beautiful architecture and the nice shops that are behind it that are currently still closed as it's early in the day, that you can see beautiful smithies that are artistically designed for their special crafts, such as weapons and armor and other artificer-like items. Some more specializing in specific pieces of armor, of course, and others in the specific weapons. But as you kind of look about, give me a spot check if you wanna look for anything that'll catch your eye.
As Normac's gonna realize that Greg's eyes are on the new
Yeah,
staff, and
we're gonna
slowly
get
put
to
it
that in
away.
a sec. Don't worry. I just wanted
Thank
to
you
give
for letting me
Luca a
roll.
sec. Good, Luca.
I got an 18.
18, not bad. As you look about, there's a couple of decent magic items here. Some masterworks hidden amongst the junk, as you quite quickly realize. Mostly from the signatures of their magic and the runes carved on them, it becomes pretty easy to recognize ones that are realistic and ones that aren't. A merchant kind of smiles at you as you walk past, kind of looks to be druidic in nature, covered in thick moss, wearing what looks to be a deer's skull for a mask covering his face, having a kind of a bone-like staff as he sells a bunch of small little rings and necklaces that kind of catch your eye. One of the rings having what looks to be a perfectly preserved gin blossom kind of inside of a sapphire gemstone. But otherwise, not much else catches your attention, unfortunately. As Luca, if you want, you can decide if you want to try and purchase that item or try and take a look at, or take a look at anything else in the background. I'll jump back over real quick to Normac and Greg, as well as Shift. As the three of you kind of stand there, again, the bodyguards for almost everyone but Luca are pretty much kind of surrounding you guys, kind of keeping most of the peasants somewhat clear and creating a pathway for them to walk through to not be of a bother to you guys, thankfully. Of course, Luca's being carried by hers, who are kind of sticking close to her.
Even with the staff out, Normac is keeping an eye out for any problems that might arise, because danger.
Yeah. As Greg kind of eyeing the staff, kind of standing, walking up over next to you, kind of looks over at Shift and looks back at Normac and goes, "By chance, what are those staves? Beholderkin?"
Yes, Hivekin, created from their stalks, as Normac will put it away. Trade of sorts between Regan Utham and myself.
A trade, you say?
Yes, not for coin. It was more of a barter.
My good Shift, as he kind of turns from Normac and looks down at Shift and goes, "If I may be so bold, I'd ask that maybe if your leader, Regan Utham, would be interested in anything of the sort being traded into my territories, I'd be happy to do business with him."
Regan Utham would be, as I've been told, more than willing. However, he also wishes to discuss a step further with you, as I have been able to deliver this message. He would like to use you to source Hivekin parts that he can craft more that you can then sell on the market. He would be more than happy to make this lucrative for both sides.
Greg's Maritom kind of looks at Normac and gives a slight smile at that, and then looks back down at Shift and goes, "I think
Normac
I
is
can
just
be
smiling calmly.
accommodating." What was that, Normac? Sorry.
Normac is just smiling calmly.
Yeah. As Greg says that, giving a deeper smile, he goes, "I'll have the paperwork written up for you by the end of the night. I think I have another individual who'd be interested in assisting with the acquiring of these parts for a interest into the research of what they can do."
Shift will just smile.
Greg kind of stands kind of back up straight. Still slightly taller, I think, than Shift. Well, Shift, how tall are you out of Or what size category are you? Are you large?
I am on like the peak of medium at 7'6".
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Greg is still much bigger than you. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm at the peak of
Shift and
large.
Normac sit about the same height because Normac stays shifted down when walking around the city.
That's right. Well, also I forgot Normac's also still young. Yeah. As the three or as you three kind of discuss this, Greg kind of backs away, and looks over towards Luca, and kind of walks over with a smile, leaving Shift Normac kind of there as Lady Saphira returns to the three of you. Um, Greg kind of leaning down as he looks at what Luca's kind of appearing at. He sees the items for sale. Seeing the druid and looks over at Luca and gives a smile and goes, "My dear young lady, would you be interested in any of these items?"
She will look over at Greg and recall what her mother has said, but choose not to repeat those words, for they are not kind for the public.
That's fair.
And will take a deep, and
Hmm?
I say this in quotations, a deep breath.
The leaves all go out for a moment.
A quiet
come back
pause. Yeah.
Yeah. While yes, this item does interest me, I would like to inquire more information about it before I even make any decisions to possibly even purchase. However, if should I need or desire to purchase it, I will see about making the purchase myself. Thank you very much.
Ah, a young lady who is as independent as any king. Now that is a refreshing breath of air. He gives a really creepy smile that almost as if you expect one of his teeth to glitter as he kind of shows you them.
Uh,
Thankfully, no gold teeth there as he kind of looks at you and goes, "But allow me, this is a gin blossom. They're very rare and only found with one group that sells them currently, the Fortunate Sons. I've procured a few for my personal gardens. I think they're as beautiful as I am," as he kind of admires the ring. "They are very valuable, but preserved like this. Unfortunately, there is little that can be done with the flower. It's stuck in the gemstone," as he kind of taps it lightly.
Normac letting the creepy uncle talk to the child. He's getting nervous as he glances
Yeah.
over while trying to make small talk
Dude.
with Saphira.
Once it's Shift, Saphira, and Normac, Shift will raise her concern of why is there the equivalent of a child as a diplomat?
It is what Cannibal sent, and I won't argue with a being who wishes to try to devour the world by their own statement right now.
I'm not
I'm
saying
testing
to.
the waters
I'm
to
just
see if
showing
there's-
concern.
so
Yeah,
the
Luca.
treant, seeing you kind of lean in, will kind of move Luca away, and it kind of lean its like shoulder over as if to pretend it put itself between you.
Like a
It
dad
knows it
on a
does-
first date. Yeah.
Yes, it knows it. Now you can. I will say this: it is not going to be, or it's not going to hide it as it
Yeah.
doesn't have much of emotion, anyways. It knows it can't take you, but it'd rather be in the way should it need to.
Greg just kind of nods as he looks at this and stands back up, stops leaning down, and goes, "But I imagine, young lady, you'd like to speak to the merchant, maybe learn his druidic secrets. I'll give you some space. If you should ever be interested in acquiring such a beautiful item, though, let your mother know I'd be more than happy to assist in a deal like that."
Thank you.
the number of times Normac's gonna regret inviting Greg. The tally counters hit 10. God damn it.
Thank
Go
you. I will make sure to pass the message on to my mother.
Greg gives a slight bow and kind of returns back to the party. Normac and Shift. It's Lady Saphira looks just as nervous watching Greg kind of talking to what is basically the equivalent of a child.
We know, at least Normac knows because he was told outright that she has the mind of an adult. She was given sentience a short time ago, but is essentially an adult mind-wise. But that doesn't change the fact that this is.
Doesn't mean Greg was. It doesn't. I mean, you should be more worried. I don't know if that's the appropriate picture these days. I feel like Donald Trump should be the appropriate one here.
Fucking
You know what?
As Normac will shift the subject and
There we
inquire
go.
if Saphira found anything interesting.
Thank you, Zebril. Love it.
That's Zebral's hidden character in the background. He sent the most wanted
Lord
criminal
Z
from
is
his island.
watching.
Please don't put him near me. I will actually have to leave.
The man's so scary that even Zebral had to lock him up upon meeting him. For the greater good of the world. This is
What are you
Greg's
talking
own.
about? That man's down fighting the Darkspawn. Don't bring up that criminal.
Oh, his Darkspawn are in
Yes, the
trouble.
Bard Corps leader, truly.
God damn, he got out. Yeah.
The only
Quick.
man willing to lay on anything.
Oh. All right.
Terrible.
As the three of you kind of watch as Greg kind of returns back, he gives he kind of walks with a bit more of a model walk, still commanding presence as he smiles, and goes back to returns to you and goes, "I don't believe the young lady appreciates the company of merchants as much as I was led to believe." As he kind of goes to stand by Lady Saphira, who gives a light chuckle and then gives a nervous glance over towards Normac.
Normac's getting the idea he should probably go check on her to make sure Lady Luca does not get taken advantage of.
Luca, do you speak Druidic by chance?
Well,
Well,
I
actually,
am not a druid.
let me
Tech-
rephrase that. Are you technically a
Please.
plant, or do you technically have the base plant type? 'Cause
Yes.
Then I think you do automatically get Druidic, because all plants can speak Druidic. So yes, you would have for Druidic for reference. And as you kind of stand there, and as Greg kind of steps away, the druid behind the mask kind of speaks in Druidic and goes, "Does the young one wish the sour and powerful to be removed?"
I think it's best we don't do that just yet. It would cause a lot of issues if we do so. We
Nah.
shall keep our appearances up for as long as we can.
The head kind of slightly bows as the skull kind of drops a little bit and kind of raises back up and goes, "May I answer any questions?" as he speaks, now in Draconic, perfectly to the party.
Normac will look at the ring and go, "It's an interesting piece.
No,
Lady Luca, I believe you have a good eye."
Thank you. I am interested in knowing how one would even craft such a beautiful item.
Jewel crafting isn't my area of pure expertise, but I can probably treat you to somebody who can show you.
I would be very grateful.
I'd like to praise the ring.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a praise check.
40, so says bot chat.
Okay. And for the spellcraft, I can confirm this item or this ring does have a spell based into it. It has a charisma bonus on it of +2 when the spell is activated. However, you are unsure what the spell is, Shift, as you've never seen this kind of inscription before. It is very old looking.
Yeah, I kind of narrow my stare at this guy.
And
33 appraise.
33. Normac, this ring would be roughly worth about 200-300 million, probably gold for gold pieces on the open market. As this has not only this beautiful gin blossom on it, but it has other elemental plane metals that you've never seen before. A gold that slightly glitters like liquid as it kind of holds the gemstone. The little bits of silver in there seem to have a bluish tint to them that are almost slightly cold to the touch. This is metal you've never interacted with before, and that's saying something as the leader of a smithing alliance.
Huh. Truly a amazing find. It's almost as if the planes bleed through this ring themselves. As Normek will look at the druid. Were you the one to have crafted it?
He shakes his head no.
Well, still a lucky find for you then. As Normek looks at Luca, smiles. How much are you asking for it?
Kind of looks up at you and goes, "For the young queen to be," as he speaks in perfect Draconic, "nothing but a favor in the future. Money does not do me well, nor does it support my grove."
Would Normek recognize this as one of the druids from the grove that's been trying to find a place?
Give me a search check. See if there's anything about this individual that you recognize from those people.
You know what? This is one of the few I may not need to throw a bonus onto, which is nice.
Hey, another pedophile.
26.
The Epstein thing earlier, I apologize. I just saw the Leonardo DiCaprio and I couldn't help myself. Sorry, what were we rolling? Oh yeah, if you recognize this
US
guy,
20,
yes, for 26
yeah,
for search, cool.
26 for search, and then it seems like Luca rolled in dirty 20 on sense motive.
And what are you trying to sense, Luca?
If this individual intends to request or intend harm on either me, the people I represent, or the lands that we rest on.
With a dirty 20, I can confirm he does not, or at least he doesn't seem to show that intent. Normek, as you look him up and down, he is definitely not, as those druids wore, not only like skulls and bones, but did not wear, as you recognize, actual metal on their body, as the thick moss upon this individual's body is actual Orovine, which is, as you recognize, currently in the possession of a cold iron, berry. Thus, he is basically covered in what would be the equivalent of full plate cold iron.
Marking it as intriguing. What languages does Luca speak?
Luca speaks Common, Draconic, as well as Undercommon.
And then Druidic, because of race.
Yeah.
Okay, no crossover, just to advise you otherwise. That wouldn't possibly be caught. Okay. Do as you will. You are welcome to your own actions. I will state that it is a very impressive piece, but favors can always be more expensive than they seem.
I will nod to Normak and then turn to the druid. I would love to hear more about, or I would love to further discuss this offer at a later time.
He nods politely and in Druidic goes, "My party will be within your lands within 2 years. We can discuss then, and I'll bring my trade goods then."
And as I will respond, and I apologize again for in Druidic, I thank you kindly for your for this discussion as well as your craft. I look forward to meeting you in the future.
Like it Nightkin suddenly.
Gives a light bow and kind of sits back in his chair.
Hey,
As
how you doing?
as Normac will continue the tour, slowly working through the city.
What was that, Luca? What were you gonna say?
No, so I am ripping this voice from a character of a game, and the only line that I have ever heard them say was, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh, I thought you were trying
I
to
thought you were ripping the
pour.
Resident Evil.
Oh, I was going off the Dragon Age Awakening DLC because I thought because of the fact I've been making so many references to Dragon Age recently. I thought he was doing the mother. And I was like, oh god.
I thought he was ripping off the Resident Evil 4 merchant. What you buying?
Oh, that's okay.
No, this is if I remember correctly, it's Libra from Ratchet and Clank.
God,
Oh.
it's been a long time. Yeah, as a shift marks down this merchant as horrifying and wonders how he is wearing all of that. Um, Lady Sophia kind of smiles and nods as she watches us looking down at Shift and goes, "So, young Shift, do you think there's any hope for Regan and King Movasi to ever make, well, a friendship or an alliance?"
Kind of cock my head slightly. The Regan works with anyone that doesn't wish him harm.
I fear my brother does not count in that situation, unfortunately.
It depends on what he does in the coming days.
True. I fear my poor cousin there will be swallowed up by him. Or worse.
Cousin, I'm a nephew.
Are you sure she's talking about you?
Are you sure she's
Nope.
talking about you, man?
She ledges her
I'm
eyebrow
safely.
towards Greg's Maratom, who is kind of standing off to the side looking at a merchant who's definitely not peddling flesh, but has a catalog of designs of individuals and such kind of painted in that Greg's kind of flipping through. Could be paintings, could be a slave market.
Regan Utham, he will not be siding with the other giants unless he is dragged into the war. He simply wants to be left out of it.
Well, I will pass on that to my brother, but I believe our dear nephew there is going to cause issues between all of the kingdoms and is going to cause the beginning of what's been going on.
Then so be it. We'll be prepared.
She nods and goes, "Well, I wish for a diplomatic big ending to this, but let's hope we do not find ourselves facing each other," as she smiles down at you, Shift.
If you ever wish to come try for diplomacy, we'd be more than willing to host you.
Oh, if it was only so easy. As she smiles, Greg and Normat kind of return back over to the group of you as Normat kind of starts ushering the party through the city. All right. And where are you? Normat, you said you're heading towards the large park, correct?
Yes, with first to swing by the docks. Granted,
Okay.
they've all seen them, but I'm language that there has been at least the sky docks would have been finished up a bit more, looking a bit better by now.
I will
Hopefully.
say they're under construction, buddy. One day is not going to change it.
Okay, then nope. Yeah, we'll head towards the park.
Yeah. They're functionable,
Taking a-
but like the beauty and artistic stuff's still going to take a little bit longer as far as it goes.
Taking a longer route though to show off some of the city
Yeah.
a bit.
As you pass by and pass through the city, merchants kind of shouting and showing goods, merchants kind of calling for duels in the center of city squares as you pass by, champions being brought out and being forced to fight each other with the items that their craftsmen have created for them to show their abilities and such. Shops and such seem to be yelling and shouting at each other from across to get customers as well as to compete against one another as they jeer each other on. It is definitely a city of ambition. One shop in particular, a small merchant stall that kind of catches your attention as you all pass it, is called the Helm Grind War Embassy. As you kind of pass, it's a small little merchant shop of what looks to be a fire Jotun. Well, what clearly is a half fire Jotun, who is about a little bit shorter than Normac. His long red beard, kind of mid-navel, his commoner's clothing kind of covering him, only barely noticing him as a merchant. his stall of goods will look to be mostly commoner swords and axes, but the name catches each of your attention as you pass by, kind of continuing through the streets. And as
Hmm.
Oh, it's gonna get better, Normac. Don't worry. As you kind of pass the stall, kind of coming around the corner, you see a small blockade in the streets. A couple of shops or a couple of stalls have kind of arranged themselves to almost cause all the traffic through this main road to kind of be halted. As you recognize Brightbee kind of sitting in front of the three as the stalls are doing business, and people are kind of already starting to gather, a few carts yelling for them to move, and them completely ignoring and just going about their business.
Are they set up against what would basically be policy and procedure for?
Well, they're stopping traffic instead of setting up to the sides of the roads like all the rest of the stalls that you've seen.
Does it look like I need to intervene yet, or is there other guards coming? Can I see?
As you look about, give me a spot check. And the rest of you can also give me a spot check. See if you catch anything.
Yes, right. He's becoming a headache, and I don't want to have him killed here, but problems need to be dealt with.
Wait, we're killing somebody?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Sad days.
Shift is suddenly no longer interested.
10. All right. Luca, yeah. The excitement of a new town, it's quite overwhelming as you just see a crowd of people thinking this is normal.
New sights, new smells.
New people. New things
Are they
to
good
eat.
smells? No.
A lot of horse dung, yeah. 18. All right. Normac, you definitely do spot a few guards, but we'll get to that in a second. 32 for shift. Greg's Marathon got a 12. I rolled that one.
Wow.
I see. I am the watcher here.
And Lady Saphira is her spot.
With their
mod.
high wisdom.
Yeah. No, I know. What's her spot mod? Oh my god, she has a lot. That is a 52. Okay.
The Watcher.
Yeah. As you watch, kind of looking about the crowd, Normac, you do notice a few of the guards kind of trying to push through the thick crowd, but having a hard time getting through. Seemingly a few individuals amongst the crowd kind of seem to be bumping into them or getting into their way, many of which look to be of half Jotun and something else, kind of wearing it similar to the Brightbee uniform as you watch. As Shift and Lady Saphira kind of watch this, what catches their attention is not the fact that Brightbee's kind of not only sitting there with what looks to be a cudgel kind of in his hand, kind of lightly tapping it on his hand as he just kind of waits, but you notice two things. One is windows up in the building up to your top left kind of closing as you see what looks to be a dark-skinned, very large individual in the window, kind of closing the blinds quickly, the cloth rather quickly. Lady Saphira, however, notices and kind of points out the individual known as Vex, the open palm, sitting at the same building down below and just kind of watching the whole thing, not really doing anything.
Your town seems to be less in your control than you claim.
Oh, they've been stirring up some trouble for a bit. I thought this was dealt with and would be dealt with, and would have these problems wait until after the festivities,
Well, yes,
as was agreed
this
upon.
this kind of trouble is the kind of thing that exiled people usually cause wherever they go. So I kind of give a dirty look towards Brightbee.
He's just continuing. He doesn't even seem to notice you as of right now, as he continues to go about. However, you do hear, for those who speak Giant, Brightbee shout out, "Come on, Vernos! Come out and play, you traitor!"
Oh my god.
Greg, this seems to be something that. Well, your mercenaries are sitting there seeming to block the building, but I will deal with what I have to.
He just kind of looks at you, looks to whatever mercenaries you're thinking are his, seeing Vex.
They're from
and
Mercenaries
kinda-
Hollow, you said.
Yeah, and looks at you again like, the fuck? Just because they listen, Greg doesn't say anything, but there's very much a confusion in his eyes. Like,
Dude,
why you think I have
When Normac
mercenaries here?
walks away, I like lean slightly to Greg and I'm like, he realizes Mercenary Hollow are free to hire, right? Are free to hire.
Greg shakes, kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, "I didn't even know she was here."
Normac doesn't know this. He's autistic as shit. Leave him be.
Yeah, and clearly they're Craig's toys, so Normac's addressing it as such.
Yeah.
As Brightby again shouts out, "Vernus, come out and play!" As a cudgel goes flying towards the building and slams into the wall near where the window was kind of shuttered.
And that has pissed off Normac.
Are you gonna
Normac will
wave to the
say in
crowd?
giant. No, Normac's going to roar out in giant. Make a path.
The crowd, as they look back, immediately begin to move, as many of them seem to recognize you, and whispers of Lord Normac's name kind of being kind of muttered as they kind of separate. Brightby is still sitting there, his arm still extended from when he threw what looks to be another cudgel, as he has another one in his hand. His merchants not moving, but paused as they kind of look to him.
He has an infinite cudgel weapon.
Normac will lead this little procession of world leaders closer, given the bodyguards are a good fucking threat right now, using intelligence.
You do have a large quantity of about 30 guards here, following behind you of different varying races.
One of the guards is epic level
Eh.
and waiting to act. No reason.
As you walk
Good
up,
Brightby.
kind of looks at you and smiles.
I do believe I asked you while you were here not to stir up trouble. At this point, you've now vandalized a building, blocked a walkway, and are making a scene. Either leave, or spend the time in the prison until I can deal with this properly.
He kind of looks at you. He stares at you for an uncomfortable couple seconds. And looks down at his cudgel and smiles up at you again, and then kind of, as he looks like he's about to attack, kind of stands up, pushes his chair back as he does so, kind of now towering over you as he looks down at you, Normac. Gives a slight huff and turns around to his merchants and kind of snaps his fingers. And within seconds, they are pushing their carts out of the way as he steps out of the way and goes, "I would not wish to offend such honored guests. I only wish to make good on the deal with a merchant who owes me a favor. I do apologize, Lord Normac," as he gives a slight bow, "if I inconvenienced you and your day."
I thank you for your apology. Normac does not look pleased. He actually has.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what fucking Chaston wrote in the chat. And I was like, yeah, 100%. Sorry.
I thought about it. Like, can I kill Normac in one hit? Maybe.
Do I want a chance to everyone else here? No. But no, go ahead.
Given there's a cleric behind Normac that can technically res him, you don't want to try it.
Yeah, as he kind of steps aside and out of the way, letting you pass, Greg kind of leans down to Normac and goes, "So much for control over your own city. I've never had a merchant get in my way."
Normac will take a small breath. Yes, but you haven't had to deal with one like him, I don't believe.
"That is true," as he kind of as loudly standing up as you pass by, loudly enough for Brightby to say, or to hear, and he goes, "Someone like that was disrespectful to me. I would have taken his head and worn it like a hat for the day, and then told the world of his patheticness. as you see an irritation in Brentby's eyes glaring at Greg's Martom as the group of you walk away.
Oh, Greg doesn't know how petty Normac can be yet. As we walk,
Urchin
does
war.
Normac see any of Flair's bodyguards?
Give me a with your search or your spot check earlier. I'd say yeah, they're not hard to spot. They look like adventurers who wear the ring or a ring or a choker that has Flair's symbol on them.
Normac will wave one over and whisper into their ear something to once we're far enough away from Brightby specifically.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of get another mile down the street. At this point now, the sounds of that crowd very much behind you as you find yourself well out of earshot. No, I know. I was joking with you, Shift.
How
Yeah.
dare.
Go ahead, Normac.
Normac will let them know to have Brightby dealt with by Flair as soon as possible, given his attitude currently.
As you mention this, the guard his eyes kind of glazed over, gives a slight bow, turns, and starts to walk back into the back alley and disappears around a corner.
The man will be dealt with, hopefully, forthwith, or he'll be a criminal by the end of the day, is what goes through the back of Normac's mind.
Oh, sick.
With a smile
say
on.
That?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
With a smile on, Normac looks at them and goes, "We should continue on. I do believe Flair should be joining us shortly. Hopefully."
Lady Saphira kind of smiles and you say that and goes, I do hope so. I'd love to meet the young lady that you're so smitten with that you'd conquer a territory and chance an apex monster.
Oh, she's a strong person.
As I imagine through Normac's head is, I am not attracted to this woman. She is scary.
No, what's going through Normac's head is, she can bring me a lot of materials.
That's true. Man, Normac's a
Shiny
gold
rock.
digger. Oh my god.
That sounds like wedding bells to me.
Yeah, right? Normac is a gold digger. Oh, you know
I'm a
what?
kingmaker, and you
Good.
know what? I've built up on that. May as well go all the way.
Good on you for breaking the stereotype, man. Good on you. Luca's learning a lot while he... Oh.
She's strong and honestly, she is a very fair person to work with, though.
Lady Saphira smiles at that, and as you kind of turn and continue to lead the group through the town, the last thing that kind of catches your attention as you guys go through the last part of the town, many of the shops, beautiful as they are, smiths, merchants kind of going about their day, events kind of going at each corner, prototype weapons and items being demonstrated. Around afternoon, by the time you guys get near the park, a druid kind of approaches you behind the individual known as Vex of the Open Palm, a well-known half koboldkin, dragonkin of sand and brown dragon descent, kind of full-on monk attire, beautiful beads around her neck that glimmer like fireballs, a druid behind her that kind of looks to be slightly hunched over, draconic features of green and bluish scales kind of underneath that look sickly, but much of his body seems to be covered by this almost nasty brown moss that kind of acts as a robe covering much of his face and body. He wears what looks to be a small dragon skull for a mask, and kind of carries a staff that's gnarled and almost dead looking, as he kind of follows behind her, walking similar to the Hunchback of Notre Dame, mostly because I've been watching that movie way too many times this week. Fantastic film, by the way, for those wondering. But as as Vex kind of walks over to you lot, the merchants kind of quietly going about as they see your royal procession and bodyguards. Vex kind of stands in front of you lot, her mercenary corps of about 30 kind of scattered throughout the street as they look on. Kind of looks over at you, Normac, and goes, "Salutations, my dear Lord Normac," as she gives a deep bow. I was hoping to take a moment, and with your royal crowd, I figured this would be a perfect moment to do so and pitch my services as a mercenary and soldier for hire. We are in between meals, and I would love for a chance to serve such a graceful host as to offer a party to all those who arrived. The festivities not being unwelcoming, of course, as they are, but I imagine some better security might be needed for you, and I thought I might be able to offer my assistance for that.
Moment.
Yeah, no worries. Take a second. Do you need a full out of game minute, Normac?
Nope, I just had to take something in my mouth.
Oh,
Normac will sense motive, first of all. I don't trust this person.
feel free.
For a 28.
Damn. For 28, give me a second. I'm just pulling up something. There it is.
As DM rolls a 97 bluff. No.
Yes. So suddenly,
Go
Normac.
fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're screwed, buddy.
As the kids say, get fucked.
Exactly. I'm just checking my class notes for my monk stuff, because shockingly, I don't know my monks off the top of my head. There we go. Perfect. As they kind of look at you, and as you roll sense move for, what was it again?
Intent. This doesn't seem like an offer you'd do in the middle of
Okay.
the street like this. From everything Normac has learned about mercenaries from Flair.
Vex seems genuine. It's not the most polite way of going about things. This definitely isn't the way mercenaries usually go about being hired. Usually they get hired by the guard captain or like a representative of the military, because that's where that's usually handled. Clearly she's got some more of an intent of showing off in front of you. You may not be her necessarily main focus of trying to get to hire her, but she may not care which of you hires her. This may be more of a just go for it, and whoever takes me is money in the bag. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to get a read on her. It's almost as if her emotions on her face and how she speaks don't seem to match each other.
With how much Normac has learned about mercenaries from Flair, would it hurt to hire them on the spot? In any way, shape, or form?
Well, if they're trying to kill you, you just handing over your
Absolutely
gold
would.
beforehand. But technically, their pay would come at the end of their contract. All that they'd get by getting a confirmation from you is the ability to go to the guard captain and say, "Hey, we've been hired." Then you guys would have to negotiate rate if she doesn't request rate here. So technically, there isn't a downside. Up there, the only thing that you could think of potentially is she could start slaughtering people in town on your name, but that would kind of be clear that wasn't your intention, given they're foreign mercenaries.
Normac carries a very fun little magic item for such times. Well, it would depend on your rate. I'd suggest inquiring at the guards captains.
Give me a diplomacy check, Normac. And Shift, what spell are you trying to quietly cast?
Discern shape changer.
Let me look that up.
I just have a feeling.
Discern shape changer. I assume it does what it sounds like, but I want to make sure.
Right on the tip.
Yeah. Okay, hold up. I need to look up the term. One sec. There's one term in there that I have to look up.
Oh God, I might be right.
What does that?
45
25.
for diplomacy.
Okay. Let me just check. For that. Let me see. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, and I assume just to confirm, shift, you're using that spell on Vex.
Vex, and then as I shift round by round, the people directly flanking them.
Oh, the druid behind her, and then the multiple like mercenaries that she has all around about that are clearly wearing her symbol.
Just the druid.
Okay.
That's the important one.
Okay, got you. All right. And with the diplomacy as you roll, that Normac, you see Vex kind of gives a smile and kind of looks at you and goes, "Well, normally I would, but my compatriot here wished to speak to you in person and get a confirmation of rate. I was thinking a gold piece a day per man. I think that's fair. My people are well acquainted, well taken care of, and we don't require any gear. We leave when you ask. We fight as long as you need, and we eat and drink your town dry on the coin you pay us."
Knowledge from Flair, gold piece a day is pretty expensive for mercenaries.
Not a level 15 to 20 mercenary, as Vex would be noted to be.
That is cheap for her, but might not be cheap for her crew.
That is true. As you kind of look at this, one sec. I'm gonna message shift something real quick while you take a second to contemplate. And if anybody
Oh,
else would like
God.
something,
What kind of monster do I see?
I might actually have to use it. And if I do, this would really fuck them over. It'd be funny.
Look, I just hope this person's not aggressive. I think one hit from a level 20 will kill me. I'm a wizard.
You're telling me.
you have level 1 over there. Look at this, like, wait a minute, I don't want to be hit either.
Just sitting there, just very happily, like, ooh. Now that's an interesting way to build a house.
No.
Oh, that's not a house, that's a store.
I hate that
There's an
shift has to.
apartment on top.
Oh no, shift has to act like an open book. Oh god. I frown deeper and deeper as I stare at this druid openly.
Vex just looks at Normac, waiting to see what he'll respond.
I'll take a quick. Normac will take a quick look to make sure that this royal procession isn't bothered by literally being stopped and accosted here. Noticing the frown on shift immediately.
Yeah, I'd say as you look back, with the sense motive from earlier, the frown, the shifting to a frown. Greg's Martom is on guard, clearly, as his hand is on his belt where his wands and staves are, usually kind of hidden away into his bags of holding on his hip. Which is something Normac's never seen him go for. Lady Saphira does not seem at all to notice what's going on, fully oblivious as any rich young lady would be to the danger. And I imagine Luca, given her inexperience in the world, looks like she's curious about what's going on rather than like concern.
Yes, Luca is interested in what's going on. The treant, however, being more perceptive of like, hey, I'm noticing a bunch of people around us are starting to ready to fight.
Oh,
Has taken
Well,
a step
buddy,
back. Good.
Well,
I'm
not
pulling a
only take
disintegration staff out of a bag.
Right. Good.
not only take a step back, but we'll try and move Luca into like one hand to have its other hand down and ready.
Okay.
Why do things like this have to happen?
Normac whispers under his breath as he looks back at that bag.
You know what? I want to roll percent. I want to know if I heard that.
Go ahead and roll listen, sure. So it's gonna be a DC 30, but if you want to try for it, feel free. Maybe you can
That's
correct.
fine. It ain't me
That's
who's
cool.
rolling for it.
Not
It's
20.
the tree.
It's
It's
the
the
tree.
treant.
That tree is wiser than anyone realized.
It doesn't meet that DC, unfortunately, since you set it at 30.
Yes. As Norbeck kind of turns back, being a accomplished survivor of Movasi's court, a very volatile space, I imagine kind of keeping his somewhat noble face on. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, keeping his noble face on with a calm smile. I'd have to ask you to step out of our way for now. You're welcome to inquire about this a little bit later today.
Vex smiles and politely gives a very shallow bow and goes, "Of course, my lord. I would look forward to. I'll wait till after the festivities are done with tonight. I hear the elemental cores have made it in for the fireworks show, and we wouldn't want those to go disappearing at all. Maybe I'll warn the captain of the guard of such a concern."
That immediately triggers Normax's warning sign of, I could hire you on now, but you'd have to sign a contract here of my writing.
Vex kind of tilts her head slightly as she looks back at you, and goes, "I'd be curious to see what it is, if you have something already in mind."
As Normac will pull out of a tube, it's definitely for Greg to see. It's a contract of Nepthos, something he's probably used before. It curses the person who breaks the contract, making them blind, deaf, and unable to speak. As Normac would fill out the average mercenary thing of, you're not allowed to harm people, you're not allowed to harm the person that you're contracted to, nor their people. Your duties fall within these lines, and here's who you report to, for the 1 gold a day per man.
Vex smiles and looks it over and goes, "Pretty standard. I'd be happy to sign," as she gives a quick signature, taking out.
There would also be the point of, if any of your men break the contract, it falls on you.
Yeah, she still willingly will sign. As she kind of runs or takes out a quill and ink real quick, signs it off and hands it back to you and smiles and goes, "I look forward to protecting those elemental cores from the thieves that we had discovered. I'll be on my way." She gives a light smile and turns and starts walking away.
As Normac will look back to Greg, are all the people from your country this, difficult? Normac is smiling as he means this as a compliment.
No, I get you. Greg kind of looks at you and kind of gives an eyebrow raise and goes, "Wasn't Vex that scared or cautioned me, it was whatever was behind her," as he looks down at Shift and gives a raised eyebrow.
Dude, Shift has not said a word and is still clocking that druid until he's out of sight.
Yeah, as they kind of continue on and head around or head off towards the kind of same direction as you lot are, but heading a little bit further north, as they seem to be taking the other path around, assumedly heading towards where the fireworks are kind of stored.
Normac, I believe an issue that you very much need to deal with is in your lands.
I am all ears to it once we reach a place where we can speak a bit more privately. I'd rather not sow chaos among the people on the streets.
Greg nods at that and goes, "I'd be concerned, though. I haven't seen anybody dealing in soul coins in your territory before."
Nor did I expect to see a lich in broad daylight.
Greg nods to that, as he kind of kind of similar to Shift, as keeping his eyes in the direction that mercenary car company just went.
I try to welcome all, but the rule of make no trouble doesn't always reach their ears.
You realize he's not under that contract you just signed. He's not one of her men. He's not.
No, but now that she's ordained to protect, it means that if he becomes a problem, she's going to have to try to stop it.
As you kind of say this and begin heading on your way towards the festivities, a quiet kind of shout as you guys finally make it to the edge of the beautiful park that it has. bunch of exotic trees from foreign lands kind of set out. Local druids who kind of set up here already, who have shops and such for woodworking, have kind of made it a bit of their mission to keep the park planted and well taken care of. Many of them planting us trees from their own home groves to kind of make the place feel more familiar and more happy and green. It's beautiful. The grass is green. The families out seem to be kind of partaking in what looks to be a snowy sort of picnic that's been kind of set out. Many chairs and wooden tables with casks of different types of drinks have been kind of set out. People are kind of generally just starting to kind of slowly gather here as the afternoon kind of starts to slowly turn into the evening. And the skies begin to darken. But as you reach the edge of the this beautiful park, you do see a small group of guards grabbing hold and taking away a prisoner of what looks to be a very crazed individual that you recognize as a shaved, fully, completely snowbeard that looks very old and angry and is swearing in Dwarvish, not taking much for you to recognize the intensity and hatred coming from the individual. As they kind of get taken away by the guards and seem to be heading off to the local jailhouse. There's your reference to the bandits.
I was about to say, is that who I think?
Yeah,
That's
it
from
is.
the old park.
Yeah, that's where his story started in here. He was there, and then that's when he headed off to the bandits.
Nice.
But you lot kind of find yourselves gathered about heading into what looks to be a beautiful stage set at the center of the park, kind of elevated slightly off the ground. A few local bards are kind of playing music as you get closer, drinks being handed out. One of the individuals recognizes you, Master Hernick himself, kind of, who seems to be somewhat in charge of kind of the ale and drinks here, kind of rushes up on stage as he sees you lot. And as he quiets the bards real quick, he kind of looks to the crowd as they kind of quiet down, and he goes, I, of course, as you all know, am Master Hernick Gravelhand, your traditionalist, the one who believes in keeping the true crafts with the craftsmen of old. But this is a city who welcomes all and welcomes change, even if it'll ruin our craft, as he gives a light chuckle, and a few of the kind of merchants and families kind of laugh at that. And he holds out his hand. Let's all give a warm welcome to the Lord himself, who makes all of this possible so we can drink, be happy, and not have to kill each other. Lord Normac, the Golden Aussie, as the crowd begins clapping and cheering.
Normac will give a wave and a smile as he would walk up on stage and one by one introduce each of the royalty or the delegates that have arrived, going just straight down the list.
Yeah. As you go kind of introducing each one, as they give a light smile, you do hear a few boos when Greg's Maratom's name is mentioned. You do also notice Greg's eyes kind of watching those individuals. He isn't doing anything, but you can definitely feel those people probably won't make it out of this country if they ever leave. As
I don't blame them for booing, but I wish they would have just stayed quiet.
right.
Safer that way.
As the kind of the festivities begin to take hold, and as Normac kind of finishes up introducing, the crowd shouts for yelling for a speech. And as Master Hernick Gravelham looks at you, kind of waits and sees to see if you have anything you'd wish to say to the crowd as they celebrate the festivities.
Normac actually has something. It's not a long speech, but it fits how he is. Normac will smile and start. This land was first ruled over by Soren, creating a haven for his kind. I named this city after the haven he made, hoping to make a new one. With the help of Flair and her dukedom, as it is, we will continue to thrive, hopefully, and lead on a country that anyone can come into, and hopefully become a part of and work hard to enjoy their life. I thank you all for your participation. I thank you all for choosing to follow me.
As you hear people shouting, clapping, and cheering on as Normac kind of goes back. Give me a diplomacy check, Normac.
D20. 51.
51. Yeah, the crowd seems enticed as they kind of seem to cheer your name happily. You even see Greg and Lady Saphir kind of clapping along as you finish your speech. The crowd seemingly happy. Uh, as you kind of say this finish up though, and as you see the cheering begin, the sky just darkening enough as the fireworks begin to shoot off, elemental cores shooting into the sky and exploding into a sparkling dust of beautiful design as the air seems to cause them to whip up into different designs themselves, some butterflies, some the dragons of different sigils of noble houses. And finally, the show fully kicks off as multiple start firing off, showing the depiction of the fight between Flair and Soren, as well as Normax's support, as it depicts basically Flair at first being pushed back by this creature of bright light, Flair, a flame, being kind of almost overwhelmed, until Golden Light managed to kind of smash together a blade that was once given to the flame, kind of overtakes the light that is Soren and ends up creating this beautiful green land that is shown with suddenly smiling lights, showing the happiness of the people who settled. And it takes about over an hour as this kind of launches off, as you lot find yourselves kind of somewhat over to a table, or over to a nice table where a few other minor nobles and lower ranked merchants or high ranked merchants kind of sat down. Normac, as you're kind of pulled off to the side, Lady Luca kind of gives you a light smile and hands you a what looks to be a wrapped in full plant vine gift, basically. And as you kind of go to unwind it, you recognize the divine, or a chunk, or a pound of divine iron.
Normac's eyes have lit up. I thank you and Lady Kanabala for this kind gesture.
As Lady Luca will give a smile and bowing at that, as the treant will seemingly kind of says something in Druidic to Lady Luca, and she kind of excuses herself to return back to her quarters, having to unfortunately leave. And as you can see, so did the player. So,
As Normac will slowly stow this away in his private bag of goods that he keeps, and rejoin the others.
Yeah, as you kind of go,
keeping an eye out for Flair as well, because she should have been here by now. Damn it!
As you sit down, Lady Saphira kind of excusing herself and heading off for the night, as well as she kind of smiles, and you can see her slightly yawning, the time difference bothering her, as her and her bodyguards return, kind of quietly leaving the party, as Greg kind of sits and kind of hangs out with you and Shift, as he and looks about, and goes, you know, Lord Normac, I would have expected this all to blown up in your face, or whatever that creature was to attack, but it seems someone must be lucky.
I'm grateful for the peace for right now. Given what seems to be boiling on the main continent, I don't think we'll have it for long.
I agree. And that's why I brought you a gift. Something that I think only you could want to possess. As he kind of begins to fish into his bag for a second.
Please be the schlong.
It is
Please
If
be
it's the
schlong.
schlong, Normac is now the strongest charisma caster there is. Leave it be.
It is not the schlong. I'm sorry to tell you.
Aww.
As much as you wish.
I'm now just imagining Lord Zebril waiting back at fucking Normac's room, ready to be like, "Hey, I'm here for the party. You're late."
You didn't invite me.
I would have, but I don't want Greg stabbing me. It was thin ice as it was. He's probably going to stab like 20 citizens. before he leaves.
Greg will hand you over a solid Oventium chameleon statue that is slightly cracked as if something has pulled itself out and
Oh.
molted out of it. Yes, it's that same item.
It keeps changing hands.
I thank you graciously for this gift as I look at it in its intricate fucking runes and am mildly horrified.
Go ahead, Chip.
What would I roll since Shift because it has seen one of the items of this set?
Yeah. You want to roll a spellcraft, knowledge, arcana. Well, what are you trying to gather from this item?
One of the alignment items.
If it's
with
part of
Bucket.
that, no. If it's part of that set, that's all.
Oh yeah, give me a knowledge history check.
We sold this to Zebril. How did Greg get it?
Well, clearly
That's right,
Zebril got what
buddy.
he needed out of it.
Remember timeline-wise how this works out. This means it goes from Normax lands back to fucking I think you guys found
Well, this is
it.
after. This is after.
No,
that.
it isn't, because this is before Night explodes.
41.
As he kind of hands this to you, as he hands this to Normac, Shift, as you look it over, this is not. It is a replica.
Oh. Okay.
I will also say that is not Oventium, as you recognize it is very cheap copper.
I see what's happening here. I'm not
Normac
saying
is
anything.
just accepting it to look at it later, because calling out a gift like that right now will get me shot.
Yeah, no, yeah, as you kind of take it and put it away, you hear an envoy, rather a courier, kind of coming, running over towards the park. As he's not very quiet, and as he kind of slips through the crowd, kind of dodging and weaving, he kind of comes to a sudden stop close to the edge and shouts to the to the crowd of VIPs over towards your section, Normac, and goes, we've had one last guest arrive in the hour. He claims that he was on a important meeting with Normac, the lord of these lands. I give you, and he looks back. Would you like to describe yourself?
Wonderful.
Yes. You see a large-sized I mean, best you can tell, like a troll. But you see all of its like blemishes and boils, the things that make trolls all like nasty and stuff, have been like cleaned up, cured. He's done like a facial kind of routine. Uh, and
Beautiful.
he's uh you know well dressed in like silver and platinum kind of imbued silks. No, like obviously no weapons and stuff, but just like very very brawny, like Chad Chadicus type looking, like big jaw, just a handsome looking troll man.
As he starts kind of walking through the crowd, many of them kind of making way for him as the snow kind of seems to melt just from the touch of this individual's body upon the cold ground. I assume he's wearing shoes, correct?
He is wearing shoes, yeah.
As he walks through, kind of passing by or over towards it, you see the crowd of low-ranked nobles, some minor noble dragonkin here and there, some high-ranked merchants that have kind of become a little bit more well-known to the world. But what catches your attention is the King Greg's Maratom in his elven form, kind of sitting at the table alongside a representative wearing Utham's sigil, clearly marking him as a representative, and of course Normac himself. As you kind of walk over, the courier kind of stepping aside as he offers to you, or kind of introduces you, not knowing your name at all, as he kind of looks to you like awkwardly and goes, "Our guest from Zebral's Grand Cabal." Looks at him again and
Ah.
goes, "The courier."
Oh God, it's now Fallout New Vegas. I'm about to get shot.
The courier takes a deep bow and goes, Lord Normac, thank you for hosting such a wonderful event. I've come at the behest of my master. My name is Chastisius.
It's
No,
a pleasure.
God. You let me down, Wolf.
One of the mini chasts.
No,
I thought it was
No.
Camronius. I thought it was his time.
it's not Camronius's time.
But as he kind of introduces himself, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you see he kind of stands after bowing and pulls out a small box, beautifully, just like artistically carved platinum, with a few like perfectly carved gems studded in the corners. Opens it up, and in the box you see a small object. It looks no larger than maybe a bean. Um, and you see it's got this weird like helixing color to it. Part of it is this like shimmering platinum, and the other part is this almost
Am I-
glowing golden amber. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of holds it forward to you and goes, a housewarming gift for your new land from my master.
Thank you and thanks to your master. As Normac will reach for gently at first the box to see if that's part of the delivery or if he has to take the item out.
Normac is very
It
much
is part
the
of the
awkward-
delivery.
Yeah, very much
Okay.
the awkward.
He-
He
taking
hands
off.
you the whole box. Yeah.
It's a quick
I mean-
a second of awkwardness as he picks up the box, kind of looks at you for a second as you kind of give a light nod. He kind of takes it and moves back away.
Normac's autism is showing again. The people are used to it.
I would say that most people know from the book, man. You know, it's literally clearly described when Normac's interview. As you do this, though, Greg Smartime kind of looks over at what was it? Chastinius, correct?
Chastisius.
Chastisius, my apologies.
Chastisius.
And looks over and goes, "You know, I wasn't given a gift when I conquered a new city and wiped out an entire nation."
Oh, I knew I forgot something as I reached into my bag.
Chastisius kind of cocks his head, looking over. Would you like one, Lord Greg's Marathon?
No, but I will have words. We'll have words with your master later. It looks like we have business to deal with. Tell him I look forward to speaking with him. As as Greg gives a light bow from his chair.
Chastisius gives a bow.
As the courier kind of looks between, and then slowly kind of dismisses himself as he backs away, going back back to his post. Greg kind of looks to Normac and then shift and then back at Chastisius and goes, "Are you going to invite him to sit?"
Normac nods, and Normac was about to, but I was letting Greg's stupid look back. Come, sit, Chastisius. Do you believe I said
Thank
that
you.
correctly?
Yeah, he grabs one of the larger chairs and sits at it.
Thankfully, they're mastercrafts. As you can
Incredible.
see, each of them has a craftsman's signature on it.
Yes, hard, very necessary.
Yes. Honestly,
Mastercraft
look,
chairs,
It's
incredible.
not masterwork. It's some people believe if it's not masterwork, it's not worth it. I let them.
as the afternoon kind of goes on, and as you lot kind of continue to enjoy the festivities of the fireworks show going on, There's some quiet shouts throughout the middle of it as another story is kind of displayed. But about halfway through it, as it's hard to keep track of what's going on, what the lights represent, with the heavier snow kind of picking up. Lady Flair kind of arrives and sits down, and kind of looks between the three of you and goes, "I apologize. It took me a moment to get here. I was bothered by something." As you kind of look her up and down, she is covered in sweat at the honking of a horn in the distance here. Kind of not wearing her noble attire, rather wearing what looks to be a light leather bit of gear that clearly isn't hers, as it's slightly oversized on her and slightly drooping a little bit, but you can see marks and nicks on it. And as she looks over at Normac.
Still you made it. Thank you for coming, Flair.
Yes, unfortunately, someone tried to assassinate me again for the third time this week. I tell you, I'd rather be this big guy. She looks at Chesticius. Yeah, no one assassinates you when you're big, but when you're tiny and adorable, everyone thinks you're ready to be killed.
Is
Well,
the assassin at large, my lady?
Yes, but I took a piece of his flesh before it burned away. Unfortunately, I think he had favor with something that is looking for looking for me for a minute now.
Normac
He's a-
looks perturbed because this means he's gonna have to up some more protection stuff. Oh, pain, suffering.
What was that, Shift?
Shift inquires about the piece of flesh.
She nods and goes, "Yes, I had it, and it started burning away into blackened ash as it laughed at me. A deep monotonous? No, that's
Monotone.
monotone. That's what. Oh, a monotonous voice. Yes, the voice doesn't see anybody else. I don't even think that's actually what monotonous means. Don't you know? I'm writing a whole book.
Might be the right
Monotonous is
word. I might look it up later.
Yeah.
I think it's
It might be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly it. I used it earlier. I just can't remember now. Anyways, so as she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Yes, it laughed at me in a deep monotone voice. It sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. Like a merchant I've met before. That's all that kind of came to mind, but I cannot remember the face of him." Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. She takes a glass of ale from someone who's kind of passing by and kind of chugs it down, and she smacks the cup on the table and goes, "Let's party."
Yes, let's enjoy the festivities.
As
dude. I cluck Flair up and down and just think, no wonder her and Utham don't get along. What the fuck?
she kind of smiles, grabs a drink. More drinks are brought to the table. Food is brought to the table, and the festivities continue for a few more hours as the night goes on, thankfully, without much interruption. And that's where we're going to end this light session today. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you for the next great festival.